All right, if you're a music producer and you've ever felt kind of trapped by presets, what we're about to dive into could completely change your workflow. We're talking about a tool that lets you build the exact audio plugin you've always imagined right from scratch. It's called Crescendo.
You know, it's a question so many of us have probably asked ourselves, right? What if you weren't limited by the features someone else came up with? What if you could actually build the instrument that's only ever existed in your head? Well, that, right there, is the promise of Crescendo. And today, we're going to see exactly how it works. Okay, first things first, let's reframe how we think about this. This is not about becoming a software developer overnight. Not at all. Instead, I want you to think of Crescendo as your own personal factory for sound, and you're the architect. So what is it really? Well, at its core, Crescendo is a free VST plugin, a virtual instrument that runs inside your music software for Windows. But here's the crazy part. Unlike a normal synth, it doesn't make any sound right out of the box. Instead, it gives you a super simple language to tell it exactly what to build. That means you get total control over every single aspect of your sound. So here's what we're going to cover. We'll start with how Crescendo is put together. Then we'll learn its language, uncover some of its seriously advanced powers, see how you can customize the whole look and feel, and finally, wrap up with what this all means for your creativity. So, how is a Crescendo instrument actually put together? To really get it, let's use a simple analogy here. Think of it like a sound kitchen. Every single instrument you build follows this core 3-part recipe. All right, first up is the common section. And this is your pantry. It's where you define all the global stuff. Your main settings, your sample files, how your MIDI controllers are mapped out. It's the foundation, It holds all the core ingredients your instrument is going to need. Okay, next up, the layer sections. Now these are your actual recipes. Each layer is a totally independent sound source. You can have a bunch of them, and each one can have its own oscillators, envelopes, filters, whatever you want. One layer might be a piano sample, another a synth pad, and you can trigger them based on how hard you hit the keys or with key switches, really whatever you can dream up. And then, to finish it all off, we have the post section. Think of this as the final plating. After all your individual layers have cooked up their sounds, they all get mixed together right here. This is where you apply your master effects. Maybe a touch of reverb, a little compression, some final EQ before sending that finished dish out to your speakers. And this right here, it perfectly shows you how that signal flows. MIDI and audio come in from your DAW. The common section grabs that MIDI data and figures out where to send it. That then triggers the right layers to make some noise. Those sounds all get mixed together and sent to the post section for the final effects, and then the finished audio goes right back out. It's so simple, really logical, and just unbelievably powerful.
Okay, so how do you actually talk to this sound kitchen? Well, you communicate with it using Crescendo's own language. And look, before you get nervous about coding, trust me, it's way more straightforward than you might think.
I mean, check this out. What's so amazing is that this single line of text on your screen, that's a whole working synthesizer. It's just a simple instruction. It tells the output to equal the sound from an oscillator generator, or OSCG for short. It points to a sample and uses variables for the envelope. You are literally just writing down a description of the sound you want to hear. And once you get that OSCG command, you only need a couple more core ideas to do some really incredible things. ENV lets you create envelopes to shape your volume, and Felt gives you these powerful filters to carve up your sound. And the best part? Every single one of these parameters can be controlled and automated on the fly. When you get right down to it, the language is really just two simple ideas. Instructions are basically commands. They do stuff, like load a sample. And then expressions are just calculations that end up as a single value, like setting a filter cutoff based on how hard you hit a key. That's pretty much it. Okay, so we've got the basics down. Now let's get into the features that really turn Crescendo from just a cool tool into an absolute creative powerhouse. Okay, this is huge. Crescendo has a built-in importer for sound fonts, that classic file format for sampled instruments. You can just drag and drop any SF2 file, and Crescendo will automatically convert it into a fully playable instrument. This gives you instant access to these enormous libraries of sounds. And get this, you are not just stuck with WAV files. Because it's integrated with FFmpeg, which is this super powerful audio and video converter, you can load pretty much any audio format you can think of directly into your instruments. That makes finding and using sounds incredibly flexible. All right, now this is where things get really deep. Crescendo has a full-blown sequencer module built right in. You can program these intricate note patterns, create complex generative melodies, or design the ultimate custom arpeggiator, all living directly inside your plugin. And the list of pro-level features just keeps going. You've got advanced sidechaining, support for microtonal music with Scala files, and you can even build custom key switches to change instrument articulations on the fly, just like you see in those expensive professional orchestral libraries. It's incredibly deep. But here's what's so cool. Your control doesn't just stop at the sound. You also get to design the entire user interface for your plugin. You get to decide exactly how it looks and how it feels to use. I mean, just look at this. This shows you just how much control you have. With simple text commands, you can set the window size, pick custom colors for everything, change the fonts, and completely define how your on-screen knobs work, their names, their value ranges, and even the little help text that pops up when you hover over them. And you can tell the interface was built for speed, for a really fast workflow. It has full keyboard navigation, you can fine-tune things with the mouse wheel, and it has these clever shortcuts like dragging farther away from a knob to make changes faster. It's just designed for people who want to work quickly. So after looking at the structure, the language, all those power features, and the custom interface, what does this all add up to? Let's bring it all together. Here's the big takeaway, right? Crescendo isn't just another plugin. It is a blank canvas. It's a framework that completely removes the limitations of pre-built software and gives you a direct path from your imagination to a real, functional, unique tool that makes the exact sounds you hear in your head. So whether you're dreaming of a multi-layered hybrid synth, a generative MIDI sequencer, or some weird granular effects processor that nobody has ever even thought of before, the whole toolkit is right there, waiting for you. The only question left is, what sound will you build first?